Mike, we have some breaking Pirates of the Caribbean news. And when I say breaking, I mean we're talking about it in the same month that this news came out, which is breaking here. If you've listened to any of our episodes, we don't break news. We're, lovers, not experts. But this is really breaking news within the last couple of weeks. Jerry Bruckheimer has told reporters that there's going to be 2 movies potentially to reboot the franchise, to reboot Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, here's the catch. He's going to write them or be part of the writing process and producing them, of course, but also maybe directing them. We're not quite sure, but they're in development. What does that mean? It doesn't mean that Disney has greenlit them. We have not gotten confirmation that Disney's greenlit them. The quote from him is, "We have a script that's being written right now. Hopefully it'll come in a month or so, and it'll be as good as I think it will be. So let's hope Disney likes it and they give us an opportunity to make it," unquote. That's Jerry Bruckheimer, who's produced this entire franchise. Wow. Now, that isn't a lot to go on, and it's definitely not something to be like, yeah, this is going to happen.
Do we know the name of the writer?
We don't know. It's just Jerry right now that's out there up front. So it's just him holding down this like flag, this pirate flag. But potentially, here's a couple of rumors, not totally official, but there's rumblings that Margot Robbie could produce a spinoff. That's a potential.
Wow.
Number 2 is Johnny Depp has not been confirmed to be in these spinoffs or reboots at all. But in place of Depp, as far as star power, obviously Margot Robbie, huge, especially if she's a part of it.
Never heard of her.
Would be Austin Butler. Butler of Dune, of Elvis, of the Bike Riders fame. He's obviously promoting this movie, and people have asked that there's rumors that he might come into the franchise. He, quote, says, "Oh, really? I haven't heard about that," which is what they always say. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. That just reminded me of when I was a kid in elementary school. We had to make these posters that you had like your favorite music, your favorite actors, and he put Pirates of the Caribbean on there. But again, we don't know. That would be crazy if that happened, but big stars attached to potential 2 new movies. So Margot Robbie, Austin Butler, who knows? Now, we don't know. Could Austin Butler play Jack Sparrow? Is that possible? I don't know. So crazy news. How do you, like, all seriousness, how do you feel about this, that we could potentially getting some new Pirates of the Caribbean movies?
I mean, like, that's exciting. I like the franchise, and I'd buy tickets to see that. I think that there's a lot of lessons that they can learn from the 5 movies of Foundation that they have, and what worked and what didn't. I think a reboot of Pirates would actually be okay. There's been some time passed. I think people still like pirates, more specifically like the idea of pirates, not like pirates necessarily this franchise, but like pirates as a concept and as like a theming for something, for a movie or for a world, I think is really neat. And I actually have a plot, like a formation of a plot idea that I think would be good. If like you saw or were introduced to pirates actually being pirates, like laying siege to a city or a harbor, and then like they get caught up in the local politics of that area and then end up having to defend it against a different siege of other pirates or something like that.
I like that because we do get that in the first film. I listened to a great podcast. It's called Empire. It focuses on different empires, but it starts out and talks about the British Empire in India. But they go in deep into the East India Trading Company, which features heavily in the first couple films. Beckett, of course, is part of the East India Trading Company. And we talked about on the pod that I was confused of like how much like power did these have? They were able to essentially call in the British Armada. Man, when you learn about the East India Trading Company, they are definitely bad dudes, like worse than they're portrayed in Pirates of the Caribbean. They essentially, it was the way the podcast describes it is if Jeff Bezos had an army. That's how the East India Trading Company was.
He does. Yeah, it's an army of package truck drivers.
If you equip them with sabers and muskets, that's essentially.
Because what is a package truck other than a ship?
That's true, a vessel.
Yes.
To get to hear from there. I mean, we don't. There's got to be Amazon boats eventually. Let's just get Amazon pirate ships to go to different parts of the world. But I think that idea, coupled with they could go deeper into the East India Trading Company, I think is a great idea. There's so much potential. The big question, and we've talked about this in our franchises, Podcast Impossible specifically, can you continue a franchise like this without the lead character, i.e. Jack Sparrow? Is it a Pirates movie without Jack Sparrow? Obviously, we've seen a lot of iterations, Star Wars, different franchises that have spin-off films. Can they do it? Will it feel like a Pirates of the Caribbean movie? I don't know. I think they can do it. There's a lot of potential because I think the ceiling is low and high at different phases of this franchise, and each iteration can work out. So it's exciting. We will keep you posted as much as we can, meaning when we feel like it, when there's news to talk about stuff.